Welcome to London, where music, art, sex, and drugs have come to jam with the world's most famous musicians. It's the epicenter of all your dad's favorite songs. From legendary recording studios to iconic performance venues, join us as we visit the landmarks that shaped the sound of generations. This is London's history of rock and roll. Our first stop is in St. John's Wood, where you can find Abbey Road Studios, perhaps the most famous recording studio in the world. Abbey Road became synonymous with rock and roll thanks to what would become the most famous band of all time, the Beatles. Starting in 1929, it was technically the first recording studio ever, beginning with acoustic recording through a wax disc. Within its first decades, Abbey Road had become the epicenter of popular music. In the 1960s and 70s, the Beatles recorded most of their songs here, including Abbey Road, whose features covered on the street just outside the studio. They would end up recording 190 of their 210 songs here. The studio's innovative recording techniques and creative freedom it offered artists set new production standards in the music industry. Other famous artists would come to record here too, such as Pink Floyd, Amy Winehouse, and Radiohead. Abbey Road Studios was more than just a recording space. It was the crucible of creativity. It was unique in the way that it pushed the boundaries of what was possible in music at the time. Next, we're heading to Denmark Street, known as London's Tin Pan Alley. The street earned its nickname for its constant clamor of songwriters and musicians. This small street in the heart of the city has been a hub for the rock industry since the 1950s, but was founded around 1885. Denmark Street is home to music publishers, recording studios, and famous guitar shops. Legends like David Bowie, the Rolling Stones, and the Kinks spent time here, writing songs and honing their craft.
Britain's Screen magazine picturing today and tomorrow. It's London's Tin Pan Alley, birthplace of melodies which have kept Britain singing in good times and in bad. Just 60 yards of plate glass windows, behind which a million new songs have been heard.
Regent Sound Studio, located on Denmark Street, is where the Rolling Stones recorded their debut album. This unassuming studio became a breeding ground for the British rock explosion of the 60s, providing an affordable space for emerging artists to record their early hits. From the intimate surroundings of Denmark Street, we move to the vast expanse of Hyde Park, a venue that has hosted some of the biggest rock concerts in history. In July 1969, the Rolling Stones played a free concert here, just 2 days after the death of founding member Brian Jones. It marked the debut of new guitarist Mick Taylor and was a defining moment for the band's reputation. In July 1976, Queen played another free concert here at Hyde Park, drawing an estimated 200,000 fans, one of the biggest single-band rock concerts ever. This monumental event solidified their status as rock and roll royalty. Hyde Park became a symbol of the power of live music. To conclude, our final stop is the Royal Albert Hall, a venue that combines elegance with a storied musical past. Since its opening in 1871, it has hosted countless performances from legendary bands such as Cream and Led Zeppelin. In 2006, David Bowie was a surprise guest for David Gilmour at what would be his final performance in the UK. It was an emotional and powerful show that marked the end of an era for one of rock's most innovative and influential artists.
Just the basic facts. Can you show me where it hurts? There is no pain you are receiving.
London's streets, studios, and venues have not just witnessed rock history, they've created it. From the groundbreaking recordings at Abbey Road to the electric performances at Hyde Park and Royal Albert Hall, the city's contribution to rock and roll is immeasurable. So next time you're in London, remember, you're walking through the echoes of musical greatness.